Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Doris. And on this channel, I share everything sonography. In today's video, we're going to talk about how long it takes to become a sonographer in the UK. All right. So this is a question I've gotten for the longest time. And if you're wondering how long it takes to become a sonographer, don't spend months or years figuring out. Just watch this video because I'll give you the three main streams for you to become a sonographer in the UK. Now, you need to understand that sonography is usually a postgraduate profession in the UK. This means you usually are supposed to have a BSc in a health science background or in a clinical degree before moving to sonography. All right, we'll start with the first route. The first route is you have a degree in a clinical background. For example, radiography. This means you're supposed to have a BSc in radiography. You go to school, you get a doctorate in radiography, you do your radiographic techniques, you do your CT, you do your MRI. Then you start thinking about sonography. You'll be like, I like sonography. That is it. Or are you a nurse? You have a nursing degree. You have a BSc in at a midwifery. You have a BSc in any of the allied professions in the UK, like a paramedic. Is that you? And you're interested in ultrasound? Are you a physiotherapist interested in ultrasound? This is a pathway for you. All right. Now, let's say you are a radiographer in the UK and you have gotten your 3 years degree. The next thing you need to do to practice as a sonographer is to get a postgraduate certificate, a diploma, or a master's degree. So if you are already in practice, you will probably be doing this as a part-time program. So this will take you 1 to 3 years. If you're doing the PG set for ultrasound, it should take you 1 year. If you're doing a PG dep, depending on your work program, it should take you 2 years, or a master's should take you 2 years. Then you can begin to practice as a sonographer. This is important if you have watched my video here about registration. I'm coming back to it. Now, the next route is, now, before we continue to the next route, I want to also focus more on nurses. Those who have done midwifery for their BSc undergraduate, those who have done nursing for their undergraduate. You can also become a sonographer through this route by taking a PG set. Most nurses take PG set in general abdomen. Some take in gyne. Most of the people from the midwifery background do their PG set in obstetrics. So whatever works for you, there are many universities around that are case accredited, which you should check before you do your PG set, that can offer you a postgraduate study in ultrasound for you to practice as a nurse. The next one is you have a BSc degree, but not in a clinical role. So your BSc is not in radiography, your BSc is not in midwifery, your BSc is not in physiotherapy, so it's not a clinical role. Let's say you have a BSc in chemistry, you have a BSc in health science, you have a BSc in biomedical science, you have a BSc in biology, human anatomy. You have those BSc that are not clinical BScs, right? I hope I'm making sense. Now, if you have a BSc in this role and you want to become a sonographer, this is what you should do. The first thing is get a role that will give you clinical experience. And the easiest to get into is as a healthcare assistant, a radiology assistant, right? A sonographer assistant. This will get you into the radiology space, will get you into sonography scan rooms, and give you clinical experience. Now, what happens next is, once you have gotten this role, let's focus on, let's say, HCA. You've gotten a role as a HCA, you should stay there for 6 to 2 years if you're in the NHS, because seriously, the next part is there's a reason why you're staying there for 6 to 2 years to get experience in that role. Once you get experience in that role, from 6 months to 2 years, during that time, you have built a relationship with your trust, with your facility, and you've shown interest in ultrasound, that you can apply for a trainee role. You get me? All right. Now you can apply for a trainee role. That is why you need experience with your trust. That's why the period is there for advice 6 months to 2 years. Remember, you are still working at the HCA, you are being paid, but you have a goal that you are going towards, which is becoming a sonographer. So don't think you're just hiding around for 6 months to 2 years. You're getting paid, you're building your clinical skills, you're learning every day from your sonographer, you're learning every day from the radiologist, you're learning every day from the radiographer if you are assisting the radiology units. All right, so you're learning all these clinical skills, and you're working with you're building relationship with your manager, and you're looking at these openings that come up for ultrasound training positions, which you can apply to as an internal candidate. You get, right? All right. Now, when to succeed to get that role, you should train as a sonographer, in ultrasound for, let's say, 1 to 2 years of ultrasound training, hands-on ultrasound training within your trust. Okay? So that is how you become a sonographer. Now, let's move to the more structured route, right? The more structured route is you go to school, you do a BSc in radiography, right? Remember, the first part is you already have these radiographers, nurses, midwifery, you already have this degree, and you just move straight to your PG set, in ultrasound. The third pathway is maybe you are coming from an advanced level, you're wondering, what do I do with my AAB? What do you do your AAA? What do you do your AAC? And you're wondering what can you do with? You can go to school and study radiography. You can go to school and study medical imaging. Please make sure your course is accredited and you can register for HCPC, because this is important in the second round. All right. Now, once you go to school, you do a BSc course in radiography. The next is to get a postgraduate course in ultrasound. So this is what makes you a sonographer. And this is the most structured part in the UK. All right. There are other countries that will allow you to do ultrasound from BSc level, but this is the most recent thing. There's one university that does that recently, and these people cannot register with HCPC. I've made a video for that. Check that out. This is something new for the UK right now, to go undergraduate in ultrasound. So this is new, and if you do that route, you could practice after your BSc, and you could voluntarily register with RCT if your course is case accredited. All right, so check that too when you're going through your courses. All right, so let me take it again. The sonography is mostly postgraduate profession. So the first route, you're already a radiographer, you're already a physiotherapist, you're already practicing midwifery, you're already practicing nursing, you are registered member in these professions. All right. So as a radiographer, you're registered with HCPC. With a nurse, you're registered with NMC. If you're a medical doctor, you are registered with GMC. Now you take a postgrad in ultrasound. That is the first part and the most common pathway to become a sonographer in the UK. The second was, if you have a non-clinical background, you should go into the route of to get clinical experience as a HCA, for example, or a radiology technician. Then you get in-house training as a sonographer. And the third one is the most structured one, like from advanced level. You go in, get your BSc in radiography, get your postgrad in ultrasound, and you are a sonographer. I hope this helps. And if you have any questions and you're wondering about what is the day-to-day life, like what actually is sonography, I could make a video about that. Just leave me a comment right down in the comment section. If you want to know like what exactly is sonography, what should you expect in your day-to-day life, I will give you an insight to that to help you make your decision. Hope to see you in the field. If you're wondering about the registration process, I made a video about it. Check it right here.